Lord Xerus, Lord Xerus, Lord Xerus, Lord Xerus, Lord Xerus.
Hi guys, I'm Lord Xerus. Welcome to my castle. I hope you find it as funny as I do. I hope you guys don't mind that I'm business casual today. You might have seen my other video where I unboxed some stuff from Surfing Chemical. Now what I'd like to do today is to see if that aluminum patina will work on steel. Alright, now here's my package from Cult of Athena. Let's see what's in here, shall we? Yeah. Oh, God damn it. So this box is full of all kind of cool stuff. Oh man. The silica gel package is all broken. Look at all the silica gel that got everywhere. Here's a feastware set that I ordered. Oh, a spoon, look at that. Check that fork out, really cool. Sharpened knife. Yeah, that's on brand for Lord Xerus. I'll cut ya, steak. I'll cut ya, potatoes. Yeah. Here's the part that I want to cover with brass patina. Yep, it's a nice big shield boss. I'm making myself a war shield, and I want to make sure that my gauntlets fit inside it, so I got this really super big one. I wanted to get a brass one because of the color, but I don't think they make brass ones that big, so, or if they do, you have to pay a lot of money. I think I only paid like 20 bucks for this. All right, let's get started. Got a little tank here, because this is going to be probably kind of messy. First step is we got to degrease the metal. Now this came shipped covered in oil. We're going to take our brush and clean, which is our degreaser here. Now the instructions did say that you can also use denatured alcohol to degrease your metal, but I don't have any. And also the instructions came after I sprang for the degreaser, so that doesn't do me a whole lot of good. Might as well do both sides here. Alright, so we've cleaned our shield boss. Now we're gonna mix some solution here. Part A, part B. We got a capful in there, part A. I'm gonna pour part B in there now. Alright, let's mix that up. Again, this stuff is meant to use on aluminum, and I'm using it on steel right now, so I'm not sure how this is gonna work out. I might need a bigger brush. Alright, now let's do the old flipperoni. Got this nice big fan brush from my painting days. Don't really know what it's gonna do to my brushes, so this might destroy my brushes. We'll see what happens. Oh, that's a much nicer, more consistent application there than the other brush. As we applied this, it did get rather dark quite quickly, so the instructions do say that the longer that it is applied, the darker it'll get. So let's rinse this off right away. See what's going on underneath. Probably should have done my dishes first. Don't know what kind of chemicals I'm subjecting myself to. All part of the adventure. Alright, so I've rinsed this off, and as you can see, we did get a stain on there. We did get a patina. Maybe not the one we wanted. We were looking for more of a shiny gold patina. We seem to have gotten more along the lines of a intermittent poop brown. At least it doesn't look like steel anymore, but now it kind of looks like, I don't know, a dirty hat. Looks like a dirty bowler hat. Alright guys, so I've dried off my part here. The shield boss looks like more like a rusty old shield boss, like it's been distressed, which if you like that sort of thing, that's cool. I wanted it to look like shiny and gold, because Lord Xerus deserves the best, except he doesn't want to pay for it, so, he was doing this to kind of find a way around it. But of course, again, that is because this is a steel part, and this patina was made specifically for aluminum. So if you were smarter than me, you probably could have told me how this was going to turn out. But I'm not that smart, so I just had to do it for myself. For now, we're just going to finish treating the inside, and then we're going to apply the clear coat. Because the inside I don't really care about. I don't really care how it looks, so I'm going to do my testing in there. Alright? Alright, so let's get on with it. Enough talk, Xerus. I'm gonna leave this solution on there for a little while and go do something else. And when I come back, it'll either be a magnificent gold color or it'll be the color of poop. We'll see. Probably poop, since that's kind of the trend we've been seeing so far. But no matter how much I rub it, it just seems to go directly from rust brown to this kind of pewter, almost pewter color. I'm gonna try one last thing. I'm just gonna pour this directly in here. Get it in there fast, and then get it off fast. Okay, see, now we're getting a really different result here. So now we're actually getting somewhere. Now we're looking a little bit more like brass. Oh no! Oh no! Alright guys, so not too pleased with the results, as you can see. I have an idea. I think the combination of the chemicals that I used may be a little off. I think maybe I used a little bit too much of part A and perhaps not enough of part B. So maybe I think I'm gonna try it again. Alright, this might take a while. You might wanna, yeah, there you go. Okay, so now as you can see, I managed to get most of the original finish back. I did eventually have to hit it with some 220 sandpaper, also some 400, and then I finished it off with the Scotch-Brite pad. I want this to be the dominant part of the solution. Now I'm just gonna add a splash of part A, because this stuff is pretty dark. Just one splash of that. Oh, alright. Wow, this stuff, that still seems pretty strong. Pretty dark purple. Lighten that up with a little bit more part B. I don't want to overuse this because I don't want to end up with none of it. I still need it for some more parts that I got ordered. Kind of reacting a little bit with the particulate that's already on there. Got some yellow coloring on the paper towel. You see that? Now we're actually kind of getting a red patina here. Yeah, this is not really turning out the way I thought at all. Now, still getting kind of a red vibe there. Let's try this one last time. Well, that's interesting. Now this thing looks completely red. Looks kind of pretty though. Kind of like the surface of Mars. Great, now it just looks like I picked it out of a garbage pile. I can always sand it down again, no big deal. Nope, red again. You know, I love doing things over and over again. Maybe coating it with water first. Get the red parts off. Leave the yellow parts on. If you do the same thing over and over again expecting a different result, that's what insanity is. Unless it's fun. Maybe what we needed to do was to prime this surface. This time I think it'll be different. Come on guys, let's give it a shot. Nah, it's making it worse now. What do we have to lose, huh? Except for our precious minutes of our life. Ah, it's getting red again. You're gonna look like having a shield boss that's constantly smeared with blood. You might be into this. That's more like what we want. Get out of here, Red. We don't want you. I think a bigger brush is key here. Well, hell, I'll take antique brass now, as long as it's not red anymore. Here we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Somehow we're getting a nice yellow brass color on the back. I don't know how that happened. Now we're getting a nice yellow. Oh man, what a pain in the butt. Still kind of dark. This metal does look a little bit confused though. It's almost mustard yellow. I'm just working it with a wet paper towel here. Nah, I'm not sure I like it. Here are the results we've achieved so far. You can see some really nice colors. Almost a really distressed copper. Kind of almost looks like leather. If you want to make your shield boss look like leather, this would be a great option. This is good colors if I'm like a sea captain or remodeling a Victorian home, but that's not what I wanted to do at all. This is so far a complete failure. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to follow the advice of another YouTuber named Eddie M, who has a video called Make Metal Look Like Brass or Golden. Fantastic idea! You can check out that video, you should go watch it. I watched that video and it's kind of hard to see the results that he gets because his camera is not, such a high resolution and maybe the lighting wasn't so good. In the video, he suggests that you get this Minwax wood finish, this called Golden Oak 210B. The product that he used has the stain and the seal. You'll notice that mine does not have the seal, which is not a problem because I do still have my lacquer from Surf and Chemical, which I have not used yet, so that shouldn't be a problem. Now I did go ahead and do a test with this product on a little piece of steel that I had cut out from my arms when I had to modify them. It does have some problems, like you can't tell that it's not actual metal. This is a liquid that's been dried on there. You can see how it pools on the end there. But overall, it is the look that I'm going for this shield boss. And I know that whatever I do is not going to be completely permanent. This will probably last less time than a patina. This kind of finish here only cost me like $6, like $6.50 or something like that. Like maybe $7 max with tax, you know? And then all of this stuff from Surf and Chemical, the degreaser, the solution, and the lacquer with delivery came to be about like $64. So if I had just done this first, I probably could have saved myself a lot of headache. All right, let's get back to sanding. All right, I've sanded this again, so it's nice and clean and shiny. I even had it with the old metal glow, so I'm just gonna go ahead and see what happens here. Now that is really nice color. Really nice clear color we're getting here. And drip it on from the top, because that seems like a good way to get it nice and consistent all the way around. Okay, that's probably more than enough. Kind of wipe off the excess there. Let it drip into the pan. Now I gotta say, I'm pleasantly surprised. Again, I'm kind of kicking myself for not doing this first. Gotta stop messing around with it. Just wanted to get rid of some of the excess on here. You gotta kind of trust in gravity to do its job. Kind of obsessive though. Kind of got a little bit of the touch of the OCD. Look at that. It's already 1,000 times better than that other patina. And yeah, it'll have some irregularities, but you know, that'll just make it more complex and more beautiful. Now hopefully we can shield this from the dust and keep things from landing on it as it dries, which actually does take a considerable amount of time to dry. Alright, we'll check in on this later. Okay guys, so it's been about 2.5, 3 days since I put on the first coat of this wood stain onto this shield boss. Let's see how it's doing. Okay, that's interesting. Coat is dry to the touch, and it does feel nice and smooth. It's got a nice sheen to it. I will tell you that I have periodically had to have come in here and kind of brush these edges down here to kind of disperse the, the stuff that pools up there in the side, so it's a little bit more even. We got that done. We got our first coat done. So let's do another coat. Oh wait, we should have shook it first. Shake. All right. Now I'm looking at this under the lamplight. It's night right now, so the light I'm looking at this under kind of makes it look green, more green than gold. So I gotta take it out in the sun, see how it looks under the sunlight. It's already looking a lot nicer. Looking a lot nicer now. I'll pick this up off the sides and put it up on top. Let gravity do all the work. Good thing to do, kind of start draining it off. It doesn't pool down here. All right, let's put the dust cover back on there. And I'm leaving this one kind of with a lot of open space so that's got room to off-gas so that can dry a little bit easier. We'll check back in with it in a couple days to see how it's doing. All right, guys, I brought you out here because I wanted you to see how this thing reflects in the sunlight. Look at the colors. It looks pretty good, actually. Yeah, I think we did a good job. I think for most people, you can just call that a day. That's a successful brassing right there. We used a very cheap material, only cost $6. It's just a wood varnish. Now we can go ahead and put on our lacquer. I mean, if you are satisfied with that color. But there are some qualities I don't like about it. For one, it looks a little gooey. If you look at some of the edges, you see where the wood stain kind of pooled a little bit, and it gets a little blurry, gets a little gooey, and all over the surface you can see little spots. I mean, I know it's a minor detail, but when you're into minor details, those things kind of jump out at you. So I did notice that when you take this indoors, it kind of gets a greenish cast to it. And even compared to the other paint on my shield, what I'd wish I'd done is actually wish I'd spray painted this first and then put the stain on it. Because then we could get some real interesting results. I'm a little curious as to see how the spray paint will work out. So what I did is I sanded out the back of this. I got rid of all the patina back here. So I'm going to go ahead and spray paint this in the back. I wanted you to see this. I hit it again with the spray paint because I noticed that some of the application that we'd put on recently that hadn't sanded completely off on the back of this. Spray paint is actually kind of phobic of whatever's on that shield boss right now. So we are getting kind of a weird, interesting patina on the back of it here. This is something a little more complex than I anticipated. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of interesting stuff. It's kind of exciting. It makes me want to just kind of take a whirl at doing the front. Oh wow. It looks like this paint is actually refusing the spray paint. So this is some really interesting results we're getting here. This is like better than I could have hoped for. Alright guys, looks like we got some pretty cool results with that gold spray paint. There's this Rust-Oleum spray paint. It only costs about $6-7 at the hardware store. It's actually pretty amazing. Now, one thing you should note, that because the spray paint is covering a layer of oil-based wood stain, is that this still feels a little bit tacky to the touch. Oil paint is notorious for taking a very long time to dry. It likes to off-gas, so if you put something on top of it, sometimes the gases will bubble up to the surface. So, I'm not really sure what's going to happen. I'm not sure how the two things are going to interact with each other. We might find that this changes color over time. Who knows? It's a mystery. You won't know until you try it out. So I'm not too worried about it. If it gets bad, I'll just scrape it off and do it over again. I like it. I'm pretty satisfied. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on to adding my lacquer. So we got going on here. Everlast 2000 resin, extremely hard lacquer. Exterior, interior coating. Cool. Alright, so there's a crosslinker. Everlast 2000 crosslinker. Use 3 parts by volume of Everlast 2000 resin with 1 part crosslinker. Okay, I think I can manage this. Got my sporks to measure with. Yeah, alright. Yeah. Oh my god! Oh my god! Wow, that was unexpected. Alright, let's go get that lid. Ooh, alright. They didn't give me very much of this stuff, So we gotta be very, very careful about how we use this. Just gonna use 1 sporks. 1 sporkful. 1, 2, 3. Okay, maybe this spork wasn't the best thing. It smells like bubble gum. Alright, let's put that lid back on there. I definitely don't want to be breathing these fumes. I'm gonna go open the door. Oh man. Alright, well that was unexpected. Alright, let's see what happens this time. Keep my hand over it. Keep it from popping off. Oh, well, that was decidedly less violent. That's always a good thing. Since we used 3 sporkfuls of the crosslinker, I'm gonna use 9 sporkfuls of this resin. 1, 2, 5, 7, 9. Alright. Remember, there's still a good chance I might glue my tongue to the table. So never discount that possibility. Alright, now we mix it up. Let's start applying it to our paint. Okay guys, well here we have our finished shield boss. Look at that cool color. Look at the back of that. Now I'll be honest, once I added that clear coat, I did notice that once it dried, it did that kind of a sediment or like a kind of a dust look in there. Everything now looks like it's shrink wrapped. It doesn't look exactly the way it looked before. I actually really like, the flat look that the paint has. And adding the lacquer, while adding an extra measure of protection, I'm actually not liking it as much as, the flat finish of the paint. Because it's a little bit less convincing. It's got a little bit more of that Disneyland feel. Like, you go on the rides and you see how everything's painted with fiberglass or covered with, protective coating and everything. And it takes you kind of out of the realism a little bit. Just a little bit. But the trade-off is that this, this finish will probably last a lot longer than just the paint alone. So it'll probably take more hits before it finally deteriorates and flakes off, which will probably happen eventually. I do believe that Surf and Chemical does offer a matte version of their lacquers, so in case you like that matte look, be sure to check out their website. Another thing that happens a lot in the SCR is that, people's swords are completely covered with tape, so then when they hit you hard enough, some of the glue from the tape gets off and smears all over your gear. Smears all over your shield, your armor, your swords, whatever. You get a lot of discoloration, a lot of goo on top of your armor. And what this coating will do is make it a lot easier to clean it off. I did trap some brush hairs in there, so now it looks like there's a pube permanently stuck to my shield boss. A giant's pube. Like permanently stuck there forever. Constant reminder of our mortality. But you know, that's life. You know, life is like a box of chocolates. Some of them are poisoned, some of them aren't. Alright, my lords and ladies, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Lord Xerus Does Stuff, A Pain in the Brass, Episode 2, Not the Boss of Me. Join me next time for Episode 3, Up to the Hilt, where I also treat a sword hilt and pommel with the same cool gold/brass treatment, and make a huge mess of things. Alright? Well, I'll see you then! Bye! Don't forget our motto. No te fine with the suggerete. Don't be afraid to suck. Case in point. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, be sure to read The Tale of the Order of the Blue Maiden. It's a high-flying adventure. Available now on Amazon, iTunes, Barnes & Nobles, and Kobo. Or go to thetale.com. You've never heard a tale like this. Okay, that was good. Cut, print. Who am I talking to? I don't know what that means. Nobody knows what that means. Do you? Okay.